To begin with, I figured out it would be only logical to start my presentation about IT language, about IT jargon, with defining the term, what exactly it is, what exactly the IT language is. And that was actually the first part of my presentation when I stumbled upon a problem, an obstacle. I couldn't find any interesting information, any interesting definition of this term online, so I decided to use my students because I work with a lot of students who work in IT branch, in IT industry. And I was hoping that they could provide me with some hands-on experience with some interesting definition of what exactly the IT language is. But to my surprise, they also struggled with defining the term. At some point of our conversations, we came to the conclusion that IT language is basically general English. They told me that 80% of their daily language use is general English, and IT jargon contributes to only, let's say, 20% of their daily output. But what does it mean to you? What does it mean to a person who is pursuing their career in IT world and would like to improve their English? The answer is that you have to improve your foundations. Since 80% of your daily output in an IT company is general English, you have to make sure that your foundations are strong. Ask your teacher to revise with you all the tenses, modal verbs, conditional sentences, and so on. If you want to build a strong structure, you have to make sure that you build it on strong foundations. Getting to know the basics, the foundations of the language is going to help you understand the tissue that connects all these, different and difficult concepts in IT language, in IT jargon that you have to comprehend. I know that this tip may sound a little bit basic to you, but believe me, once you have made sure that your foundations are strong, it is only going to make you feel more comfortable using the language, and is only going to enhance your learning process. The second tip I would like to share with you is about dictionaries. I would like you to redesign the way that you use the dictionary. When I talk with my students, they usually use English-Polish dictionary when they come across a new vocabulary item that they don't understand. So what they do, they put this word into English dictionary and they come up with Polish translation. It is a very good solution because if you want to remember the word, you have to make sure that you create a strong link between the word, your brain, and its Polish equivalent. But that's not enough, okay? Let's see what happens if you take a word and you put it into English dictionary. You're going to see that the input you're getting is much more comprehensive. Let's take the word software as an example. When you put this word into English dictionary, I'm using the Oxford Advanced Learners Dictionary, and I would definitely recommend using this tool. You're going to find out that this word is a noun. You're also going to find out that it is uncountable, and later on in this presentation, I'm going to explain why that is important. Not only that, you're getting both American and British pronunciation, but most importantly, you're getting the definition of the word. The definition is, by reading the definition, you are exposing yourself to a greater deal of English. Make sure that you understand the definition. In this case, software is a program that is used by computer to solve particular issues. Not only that, but you're also getting a list of different examples. They show you how to use the word in a context, how to use the word in a sentence. Let me give you an example. The first sentence on the list is that this is a very interesting piece of software. Piece of software is a collocation. Collocation is a string of words that basically like each other. It is crucial to learn collocations. It is crucial to incorporate them into your learning process because collocation make you sound natural. You're creating a network of words that basically like each other, so to say, that occur together in the language. And this is something that is going to also improve your fluency. Let me give you some examples. Piece of software was the first collocation we came across. The second one is, so let's say you found a piece of software you would like to use. First of all, you have to download it. Okay, to download software is yet another collocation. Once you have downloaded the software, you have to install it. Before you install the software, you should make sure that you have installed some antivirus software so that you make sure that your hard drive does not become corrupted. Corrupted hard drive, yet another collocation. Once you have downloaded and installed the software on your PC, you can run it, okay? Yet another collocation, to run software. Then we can talk about hardware, software, and so on and so on. As you can see by this example, when putting the word into English dictionary, you're getting much more comprehensive information, and you're getting broader insight into the word. Last but most certainly not least is the last tool I would like to share with you. This one is called Flax Dictionary. Flax Dictionary is an online corpus, and corpus is basically a collection of written and spoken texts that have been analyzed for certain purposes. In this case, they have been analyzed in order to give us, the users of this corpus, a list of collocations. But these collocations are listed from the most useful one, from the most important ones, from the most common ones to the least important ones. I have already discussed collocations, so let me focus on some different piece of information that you're getting when using this Flax Dictionary. What you're getting is also something that's called verb pattern or word formation or collocation formation, collocation pattern. So what a collocation pattern or word formation is basically the way that you can put a word into a sentence, okay? It's like a certain solution that you can use. Let me give you an example. Free software is an example of adjective plus software pattern. To install software is going to be an example of verb plus software pattern. Software used by developers is going to be an example of software plus preposition plus noun pattern. I know that it might sound a little bit difficult at the beginning, but once you familiarize yourself with this website and you familiarize yourself with how it works, you will no longer struggle with finding like a proper verb or proper adjective for your word. I guess this is enough of the theory, and now let me show you how I used these tools that I talked about and how I incorporated them into my attempt of broadening my IT or like learning my IT jargon and broadening my IT vocabulary, having no previous expertise in this field whatsoever. I'm not an IT specialist, okay? So what have I done? I decided to open my Spotify application and look for interesting podcasts about IT language, about IT in general, honestly. What I came across were a lot of different videos on it. I wanted to find those which were rather short. I would recommend going for something that's maybe 10 or 5 minute long. If you find a longer video, I would recommend to divide it into shorter 10-minute parts. My next step was to make a list. I told myself, okay, let's make a list of words which are important, which I maybe don't know, or maybe I guess that somehow relate to IT jargon. So I came up with a list of 80 words or something like that, because I found podcasts on CRM, on patches. I also found podcasts about back end versus front end development, and information in general in IT. So once I've constructed this list of 80 words, I decided to underline those which appear in more than one podcast. In this way, I created a list of words which are very universal, very flexible. I can use them to talk about what I said before. So back and front end development, CRM, information in IT world, so on and so on. Let me give you some examples. Some of these words are software, database, framework, domain, information, bug, fix, patch. Okay, we don't have time to focus on every single of them. So let's just take one. Let's take the word information and let me show what I did with it. Let me run you through the process of learning this word. So first of all, I put this word into English dictionary. And what's next? What was I looking for? I wanted to know if this word is countable or uncountable. I mentioned it before in my presentation. Why is this important? It is important because when I know that this word is uncountable, I know that it can be followed only by the singular verb. So I know that I have to say information is instead of saying information are. In the past simple tense, information was instead of saying information were. I also learn that there is no such word as informations because it is uncountable. I get to learn the definition. I made sure that I understood every word of this definition. Then, of course, I looked at some examples how to use this word into a sentence, and then I typed this word into Flux dictionary to see all the verb patterns, collocation patterns, and I focused only on those which were important to me, which were the most common ones. My next step was to put this word into English-Polish dictionary because, of course, I wanted the Polish equivalent of the word so that I could create a strong link between the new word, the new vocabulary piece, and my memory. The last step to make this learning process comprehensive was talking. So I wanted to come up with one or two questions using the word information. Let's say the first question that you can ask is, what would happen if a piece of information would be stolen from my company's database? That is your first question that you can ask, that you can answer. The second one was, let's say, how do I exchange information with my colleagues? Make sure that you answer this question for at least 1 minute. Make sure that you feel comfortable answering these questions. In this way, I'm making this learning process very comprehensive. I'm listening to podcasts, I'm using the language by typing it in a dictionary and reading the definitions. I learn it. I try to understand, gain deeper understanding of the word. To sum up, I hope that you find my presentation interesting. I hope that you're going to incorporate some of these solutions and tools into your learning process, and that your learning process is also going to be comprehensive, and that you're going to enjoy it as much as I do.